Welcome to Sports Geek Throwback. Here's your host, the Sports Geek himself, Sean Callanan.
G'day, I'm Sean Callanan from Sports Geek, and welcome to Sports Geek Throwback, where I pick out the best bits from the Sports Geek podcast archive. For this week's Sports Geek Throwback, I go back to episode 364 with Glenn Critchley, published back in February 2024. Glenn Critchley is the General Manager of Commercial and Consumer Business at One New Zealand Warriors. Remember, if you need help with your digital marketing or sponsorship teams, please get in touch. That is what we do in applying the digital to dollars process to help your team build revenue. In this throwback episode, Glenn and I discuss the power of fan engagement and its impact on commercial success. Remember, you can listen to the full episode at sportsgeekhq.com/364. I did want to ask you, sort of touched on it there, on how the landscape has changed and I guess the canvas for those solutions. If you look back at a deal like the Kia naming rights deal and those kind of things, there would have been a lot of bricks and mortar and physical signs, and now, like you said, as digital channels are growing, partners are now coming to you for digital assets, digital inclusions in your social. Content created that's purely for digital. How have you, stayed up to speed, but then also lent on, your digital and marketing folk to say, hey guys, again, not what can I sell? What's now part of our solution? What can we now offer our partners?
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned the Kia deal. That I still remember that vividly. It was as a pitch, an internal meeting where one of our guys would just sort of provide a bit of background as to what other agency clients are looking for. And Kia was looking for a major billboard site in London, and that's how it started. It was just purely brand, purely awareness. And that's where that one started. So to say it's evolved over the last few years is probably an understatement. But I think, from a Warriors perspective, again, it probably comes down to the different brands. There are still some of those brands that are actually, they need awareness, right? And that's just part of the marketing cycle where the sales cycle where they need to actually get more people to understand the brand, or if people are aware of the brand, then how do you take that next step forward to consideration, etc. So. From our point of view, our partners are probably wanting to do a lot more in the digital space purely because that's where the audience is. Our digital channels are significantly higher than what you get from a broadcast, a traditional broadcast now. We've got nearly 500,000 people across our Facebook page, another 300 and something thousand on Instagram, TikTok is just blowing out of the water for us at the moment as well. So, that space is where the eyeballs are and where our fans are. So you want to, fish where the fish are, right? So I think that's just a natural progression into the space of, what we have to sell and the brand assets or the logo assets probably underpin the partnership, because again, it comes down to, in my mind, how do you as a brand, how do you make being a fan better and how do you, as a brand, what can you do to make that the best experience possible to be a One New Zealand Warriors fan?
If you like this Sports Geek Throwback episode, please check out the full episode at sportsgeekhq.com. Please share Sports Geek with your sports business colleagues. We appreciate you sharing. We love working with podcast listeners. Please get in touch so we can help your team. Go to sportsgeekhq.com/phone call. All Sports Geek episodes are available at sportsgeekhq.com and all podcast platforms.